We know from the Dance with Dragons that those rubies, like the one she used on Mance Rayder, they can glamour people. It can make you look different than the way you actually appear. So I think, this is my personal opinion, I think she looks completely different than the way we are seeing her, and that she's using the ruby as a disguise.
So that makes two things that I've been absolutely right about that I predicted from the books, but the show proved, and that's Stannis burning his daughter and Melisandre being old and like raggedy and using the ruby as a disguise. I totally called that like a year ago, which is incredible. I'm so awesome. Nah, just kidding. A few people actually had that idea, but one thing I can say is that I actually did come up with that independently of anyone else's thoughts. In the books, if you do not know, Melisandre actually uses a ruby to glamour another character, and that sets it all up, actually. So the fact that she's always wearing that ruby every time we see her in the books, and the fact that we know they can be used for glamoring, it's pretty brilliant foreshadowing. I am so happy to see my girl Brienne kicking some ass again this season. Like, this chick is so badass. I just fucking love her. Sansa is, of course, still playing the role of the damsel in distress. At first, her and Theon are alive, obviously. The most significant thing in this scene really is the oath that Brienne swears to Sansa, because it mirrors the oath that Brienne swore to Catelyn. And spoiler alert if you haven't read the books, in the books, Catelyn comes back to life as a character called Lady Stoneheart. I'm sure most people know that by now. So this pretty much seals it for me that Sansa is taking the role of Lady Stoneheart, and she's gonna go for that vengeance this season. I'm looking forward to see that, because I'm sick of seeing Sansa fucking cry and just like, whimper in a corner every time something I'm so over it. It's time for her to evolve. The evolution that they were hinting at the end of season 4, but they just completely dropped in season 5 and put her in the arms of Ramsay Bolton for some reason. I don't know why they did it. I don't know why. Lena Headey is one of the best actors on the show. Man, that woman can act. Like, you see her go from just like the happiest she's been in like probably like months, and then in just like one shot to like just anguish. Like, you see her face slowly go from, happy to just the realization that, oh my God, just horror and anguish. And, she's thinking in her head, oh my God, the prophecy's coming true. My kids are all going to die. And then the beautiful queen is going to take what I have. And then my brother's going to strangle me. It's all running through her mind, because for her, this is the nail in the coffin. I like that Cersei acknowledged the fact that she's a monster, because I like it when despicable people actually acknowledge the fact that they're despicable people. That made me respect Cersei a lot more, since she knows that she's a terrible human being and she embraces it. So that makes me respect her. That's why I like Cersei. Oh my God, it's Marjorie. Oh my God, I don't care. I don't care at all. I'm sorry, I don't care about Marjorie at all. Septa Unella is a bitch and she needs to die. Well, I suppose you guys are wondering how I feel about Dorne. Well, I'll just say this. I fucking hated it. Oh my God. I love how this show took Illyria Sand, a character that I liked in the books, and made her a character that I fucking hate, and I just want to fucking just punch her in the face like 7 times. I just want to fucking punch her. She killed Dr. Bashir from Star Trek. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Do you have any idea how happy I was when I found out that the guy that played Dr. Bashir on Star Trek Deep Space Nine was going to be on Game of Thrones? I was over the roof. I was over the fucking moon, And then, that is not a fitting death for Arya Hota, all right? No, you do not kill off Arya Hota with just like a poison dart or whatever in the back. That is not a fitting death for a fighter and a warrior like him. That is fucked up. And I don't like how they turned the Sand Snakes into kinslayers. Like, what this is out of character. I just don't like it. I'm not interested in seeing Dorne being ruled by fucking this bullshit version of Illyria Sand. I'm not interested in seeing any more of the Sand Snakes. Just cut Dorne out of the whole thing. I don't care about it. I'm not interested in it. They ruined it for me. And I'm not just being like a book snob right now. Maybe I am, but whatever. It's my opinion. Screw Dorne. I don't want to see any more of it. Just fuck it. It can just die. Stay in the desert. So my dude Tyrion is in Meereen with Varys hanging out. This is so different from what's going on in the books that I don't even know what the fuck is happening. What I'm mainly interested in, two things, because the rest of it is just like whatever. Who is watching Tyrion, like from that window right there? I want to know. And also, how the fuck did they set all these ships on fire at once? Like, they would have had to have like someone each of the ships, like waiting to set it on fire. Because it couldn't have just been like one person running around setting each ship on fire. Somebody would have noticed. So that shit had to be like orchestrated, in some like crazy Machiavellian way to keep people from people like had to not notice and stuff. Because what they're doing, I think they burned Daenerys' fleet of warships. Probably trying to weaken the city so that another army can attack it easily and take it over. Daario and Grayscale Jorah are on Daenerys' trail. We already knew that from the trailer, so whatever. So since Daenerys is so beautiful and so unusual looking, they take her back to their Khal, and he's like, I'm gonna fuck you tonight, bitch. And of course Daenerys says yes because he's so handsome. Oh wait, no, she says no, and she's all like, bitch, I'm the motherfucking wife of Khal Drogo, motherfucker. I'm Daenerys Stormborn of the House Targaryen, motherfucker. And he's like, oh, my bad. And then she's like, so you gonna take me back to Meereen or what? And he's like, nuh-uh, bitch, your ass finna go to Vaes Dothrak, just like all the other widows of the cows, bitch, And so that's basically what I thought was going to happen with Daenerys' story anyways. So that's basically what I said in my trailer review, that's what's going to happen. No? So it's whatever. Arya had a short scene in the show as well. It seemed kind of shoehorned in. It didn't really lead anywhere. We see her as Blind Beth. She's begging, and the waif comes along and fucks with her for a little bit. Honestly, in the show, I'm losing interest in Arya's story a little bit. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere. It doesn't have the same flow as it did in A Feast for Crows. So, I don't know. We'll see how it ends up. Well, I guess I have to talk about Jon Snow now. The reason I don't really want to talk about this is that it's so obvious what's going to happen to me. So you get Davos finding Jon on the ground. Him and Dolores and some other guys take him and they barricade him into the room. Melisandre comes in later and Ghost is in there. The entire Night's Watch is outside and they're like, okay, you have until nightfall to surrender or we're going to kill you. Look, Jon Snow is alive in that room, but he's not inside of Jon Snow. He's inside of Ghost. It's set up throughout all of A Dance with Dragons, the same book where my Melisandre prediction came from, by the way, that when a warg like Jon Snow or Bran or Arya or Sansa or Robb Stark or Rickon Stark dies, because they're all wargs, when they die, they live a second life through their animal, their wolf in this case. So also in that same book, Melisandre sees Jon go from a man to a wolf to a man again. She doesn't understand the prophecy at the time, but it's very clear what it means. And in the prologue of A Dance with Dragons, it's set up very well, that the whole thing about wargs and the second life and all that stuff. So Jon Snow is inside of his wolf. He's gonna be fine. I don't know if he's gonna end up back in the same body. Jon Snow, probably for the sake of the show, he'll end up in his Jon Snow body, but probably in the books he'll end up taking somebody else's body, I think. But we'll see. That wraps up my season 6, episode 1, the Red Woman review. I really like this episode, aside from Dorne. I didn't like Dorne, but I really liked this episode. I loved seeing Melisandre take off her ruby. But there was the bathtub scene from a few seasons ago when Melisandre is with Stannis' wife and she's naked in the bathtub and she does not have on her ruby. I went and looked at it because she doesn't have on her ruby. That seems like lazy preparation on the part of the writers of the show, because I'm pretty sure in the book she always has a ruby on. She never takes it off. Even when it's like burning so hot that she can barely stand it, she never takes it off. So I like the episode. I'd give it 8.5 out of 10 just for the Dorne stuff, but I really liked it. It set up, hopefully it sets up the rest of the season very well. I'm looking forward to seeing Bran. I was a little disappointed by that, but it was still good. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe for more ideas of Ice and Fire.